Hello, my name is Yaprak. I am a student in Bachelor of Business Administration in Leuven. I'm a third-year student, and with the exchange program, I went to Coimbra, Portugal. The reason why I chose University of Coimbra is a very old city, and the University of Coimbra is one of the oldest universities in Europe. So it has lots of history that's hidden behind. The city is really magical. And also I really wanted to travel Portugal. That was one of my wishes, and I chose Portugal for my Erasmus. For the language, I would say, since I went on an exchange on Coimbra, which is rather a small town compared to Porto or Lisbon, they had a little bit more elderly population living in Coimbra, which they don't speak they don't know how to speak English. So I had to adapt to that. But also my university provided Portuguese courses. Even before I could register for those language courses before coming to Portugal. And before university started, for 2 weeks, I took Portuguese language courses for me to adapt a little bit better. So it really helped. Compared to the difficulty of courses, I would say somewhat it came a little bit easier to me, which was really nice, because I think this is the reason why the education styles are really very different between Belgium and Portugal. In my home university, Leuven, it is a little bit less interactive with materials and intense courses. However, in Portugal, it was really interactive with students making presentations, students writing essays, students making the opening of the lecture and then leaving it to the professors. And specifically, I had one professor that at the every end of lecture, she would ask the Erasmus students, how did you find the lecture? So the professors were really sincere and helpful, and they prefer much more of interactive courses. And with that, they made essays. They made us do essays and presentations as a part of the evaluation, which I think I found it a little bit easier. About accommodation, I was the type of person who found accommodation in the last minute, so that would be something I wouldn't suggest to anyone, because it wasn't certain that I was 100% going on Erasmus, so I preferred to not to find accommodation until I'm sure. But so early August, I found my accommodation through Spot a Home. I honestly preferred that website because I wanted my accommodation to be a reliable place. I wanted to 100% be sure that I have a place to stay when I went to Portugal. And I chose a reliable website, but it was harder because there was less spots available. My choice for Coimbra was pleasant for me, but if I had one more chance, but going back to past, I would choose Portugal. Maybe I would choose much more of a center towns like Porto or Lisbon, because I'm used to living in cities that are the capitals and filled with lots of people. So compared to that, Coimbra was a little bit a tiny town like Leuven. But I would choose Portugal 100%, and I'm really happy thinking back of my Erasmus days. best thing about my exchange semester is the people that I met. Obviously, they were wonderful. I met lots of people from all around the world. Previously, I thought Brussels was the center of the world because I meet people from all over Europe. But I went to Portugal and I meet people from all over the world: South America, North America, Canada, Asia, even Australians. And I was like, yeah, this is one of the most international place that I live in. So it was very nice. The worst thing, I wouldn't say worst, but something that I struggled in is homesickness. You might experience that in the first months of your Erasmus because leaving your country and going on another country to live for 6 months isn't easy. You have your room, you have all of your friends, you have families here, and you just leave them behind and try to establish everything from the start. And the first 2 months, it can be difficult, but trust the process, hang in there, it'll be better. I wish that I've known before going to Coimbra would be that it will be a little bit difficult to adapt in the language and the culture, because I remember one time I left my residence to going to university and I was shocked with people on the streets like wearing black gowns and black skirt and white t-shirt, and they have something in their hands like they're magicians. And I was a little bit surprised. Then I asked my friend who are those people, and he explained me that it is a tradition that's called praxe in Portuguese. It is something that the students do at the beginning of the academic year. They just gather all up and wear those gowns and celebrate the beginning of academic year. So I would say culture shock, but in the meantime, it was really fun. When it was like at the end of semester, they also wore that, and a friend of mine lended one to me, and I wore that as well. And it was really nice because we were looking like the people from Harry Potter movie, and it was really cute. My number one advice would be secure your spots in the beginning. As soon as you know that you're going on exchange, look at your accommodation because it's one of the most important things, and you wouldn't want to leave that to the last minute. It is really hard to find. And choose somewhere that is close to city center and your university at the same time, so it will make your life easier. I would say your sunscreen, because you're going to Portugal. Don't forget your sunscreen. It's really hot in there. And if you want to be extreme and try every single thing there is in Portugal, I would say rent a surfboard, because you will learn how to do surf in Portugal.